The UN and Pakistan are asking for $160 million in aid as record floods continue to devastate the country. 1/3 of Pakistan is underwater. More than 1,100 people have died, including 380 children. Nearly 1,000 healthcare facilities are impacted. The country's southern province has been the hardest hit, receiving nearly 5 times more rain than the 30-year average. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres plans to visit the country next week. The United States has already announced $30 million in support for Pakistan. Canada has pledged $5 million in humanitarian aid. To learn more about the situation in Pakistan, Newsnet host Hannah Thibedeau spoke with Winnipegger Masroor Khan. He's the president of Canada's Pakistan Trade and Cultural Association of Manitoba, and he joined her from Islamabad, Pakistan, this morning.
So basically, right now, the rescue and relief activities are going on. But of course, the livelihoods of the people really depended on the livestock and farming. And literally, the crops and the livestock have literally, the life has been tripled because everything is lost. Almost 33 million people have been displaced. So right now, the needs are medicines, medical aid, food. Food is, of course, the biggest insecurity that people face right now. Emergency education and, deterring those vector-borne and waterborne diseases, which is another disaster that looms, as per experts. In the next couple of weeks to 4 weeks, this could be a widespread outbreak of those diseases. So right now, medical camps are being set up, which is, of course, the biggest need of the people, and the food insecurity for children, women, children, and the vulnerable people could be at the risk of malnutrition.
Let me just repeat that stat you just gave us. You said nearly 33 million people displaced. Is that correct?
33 million displaced as per the stats of the government of Pakistan.
That is nearly the population of Canada. Just imagine that number of people who are displaced. There's food insecurity, lack of medicine, and even as the water starts to recede, what are your concerns?
First of all, the water has not started to recede. Of course, the level in this river is very high at the moment. There's this city Dadu in Sindh, which is at the risk of being submerged at the moment. So, as the water passes towards the south, more and more cities are under the grip of the water, and there's more chance of flooding, urban flooding, and flash flooding. Of course, flash flooding was from the mountains, but the risk of urban flooding is still there, and it has not receded. But as soon as, of course, in the areas where it has receded, the biggest risk, as I mentioned earlier, is the widespread outbreak of waterborne and vector-borne diseases, and children and vulnerable people are at the most risk at the moment. And of course, because the Karakoram highway up to the north, there's issues of access. The roads have been broken. So, for example, staples like wheat and flour cannot be transported up there. And, everything is very limited delivery by helicopters, by sorties. So people, of course, have no food, literally, and there's no employment. There's no shelter, and then people are under the merciless sky. So, people need tents, people need temporary shelters. So these are basically the biggest problems.
Canada announced it will provide $5 million to help scale up that humanitarian response. Is there anything else that the Canadian government can do?
So right now there are 2 things: shelters, medical camps to deter any vector and waterborne diseases, and food. So 3 things are at the moment require the most attention. And I think people can step up and, donate for the brothers and sisters in Pakistan who are affected by an issue that is common to us, which is global warming. Pakistan is literally the ground zero for global warming right now. And, being only 1% of the emitters, I think it is unfair for Pakistan to face such a catastrophe. And I think the world needs to step up, and Canadian brothers and sisters need to step up to fight this global issue, which can hurt anyone else in the future as well.
Masroor Khan, I want to thank you for your time and for your good work on the ground there.
Thank you so much.